We're going to be learning this week from Ulilevi Omer and Bihar, Bichukosei, Tovshin Samach Dalad. The Rebbe Zt said on the night of Friday night by the Tish in Bichukosei Telechu. Chazal tell us that what does it mean Bichukosei Telechu? That one should strive and delve deeply into Torah. So the posuk, simply stated, means to go in the ways of the Torah. But Chazal added, one has to be deeply involved with Torah. And we have to understand, what does it mean, this deep involvement? What does it infer? Chazal tell us, in Doima, it's not the same someone who studies 100 times to one who studies 101 times. What does it mean it's not the same? The whole difference would seem to be one more time. The Balatanya says that on days that he would study 100 times everything they learned. And that was the way they used to learn, 100 times in one day. Therefore, when he learned more than that, it's not the same as what he usually does, because customarily he only studies 100 times. He's going beyond the boundaries that he set himself in his customary life. And that's already a different level. When a person does things because this is what he does, then he basically has put himself into a box, and that's the way he lives. When he goes outside of it and does more, that's the importance of the Meir Amen Ve'echod, to know that there is more that can be done. Now, the Limud Torah, there are many different aspects. There is the simple translation. As, for example, Baruch Hashem, the Rebbe Zt said, there are thousands of people sitting and learning Daf Yomi. Since then, it's become tens of thousands, if not close to 100,000 people who are sitting and learning Daf Yomi. Every day they sit in the Daf Yomi and they learn the Daf. But if you'll ask them after the Daf, maybe even on the same day, what did they learn from it? What law was relevant? Many of them will not remember it, even though certainly they understood it at the time that they learned it. That's learning. Yes, it has a value, but there's something of understanding, comprehending, that you can add a level so that you know what is permitted and what is forbidden, what one may not do and what one is permitted to do. And that's knowledge. That's the second level. There's another level that's even a greater, that's comprehension. That a person studies with understanding the entire Gemara, and he understands therefore why he's obligated. Not he knows I'm obligated, but they understand what causes his obligation. Today people are learning Eruvin, and they understand why the Chachamim said in certain instances that the Eruv is good, in certain instances it's not. And you begin to comprehend what the intention was in Drabanans, and certainly so in Deraisis as well. The person who learns in such a situation understands the entire edifice that he's studying. That's comprehension, or what we called today study in depth. Certainly, after he learns the simple translation, he gets a reward for that, because he learned Torah. He didn't waste his time. It doesn't matter whether he totally comprehends it or not. But when he has more knowledge, that's a higher level. And then he's able to understand further what he continues to learn in greater depth. That's what Chazal state over here. In Bichukosei Telechu, you have to go with Torah. Even in studying of Torah, one has to go and walk forward, not just remain rooted where he was before, but to go into the very depths of understanding Torah. And this type of learning has no boundary to it, because the more one knows, the more one comprehends, the more one associates, the more one is able to put together. And he understands that the depth of Torah, that's something that has no boundary. That's be involved with Torah, amelim ba Torah, continuously growing in Torah. The Torah should be without boundaries, which is the depth is should be continue to be studied even more greatly every time you learn it. When a person learns more, to that he gets a greater comprehension of Torah and what Torah means and how much the Torah encompasses. But in that same time, you see that the person is nothing. In other words, the more you comprehend Torah, you realize how insignificant man is compared to the Torah, which has within it all elements of the world, and how small the human being is. When we see the greatness of Torah, we see how small we are. Hashem Yisborach should help us, that we should be able to work at studying Torah, and we should be worthy of comprehending Torah and understanding the depths of Torah, and we should have the ability to continue to always do that. May we merit the coming of the Gula Shlema, May of Yameinu. Amen.